Hello traders, Gary Wagner here. It is approximately 10 a.m. in Honolulu, making it 3 o'clock in New York City. It is the first day of the week, Monday the 23rd of January 2012, and this is the daily report for gold and silver. Precious metals complex began yesterday trading, opened a little soft, trading down just a little bit, began to firm up, and then as we went into the Asian markets last night, these markets really began to pop. We have actually gone to the upper ends of where I thought we would get some sort of a resistance in gold. We've actually exceeded where I thought we would find resistance in silver. We'll take a look at both markets in detail in just a minute. Currently have gold trading up about $9 on the day, $16.75. You can see that on the board, that spot. And we have a 7-cent gain in silver, 32.27 to 32.23 bid-ask spread. Let us start with the gold market. First of all, so the first chart we'll look at is going to be an overview. Of course, it is right at the beginning of the week. We are looking currently at a weekly chart. You can see that we're up just slightly on the day, as I said, about $8, and you can see this is that softer open from yesterday's market trading activity as we opened in Australia. Interesting, when we take a look at the tops of the market, what you're going to see is we're looking 1685, 1686 is a potential point that we might find some resistance. This market right now has been running very, very strongly, so we will have to see how it reacts. At this point, you can see that we've got about a 1681 top. That's right in here. Markets genuinely hourly candles here come down, and as I said, it's currently trading right at around 1475. And this, of course, as I said, is a 60-minute candlestick chart. Onto our daily chart, and this is really the tell of the tape because we are certainly not at the resistance point that I was looking at, the 38%, and that's 1686. You can see that we're just shy of that, and there can be no doubt we are still in wave one of this five-wave major five that I believe is going to take this at least above 1800, but it should in fact take us to new highs. Beautiful support. We talked about this on Friday, this double bottom. And, of course, we'll see how it reacts in this area. In terms of straightforward history or why this might, in fact, give us some resistance, and quite honestly, we'll have to see. You can see that here it acts as support. Right in here, it acts as resistance. Interestingly enough, that gap that we had, that's right in this area, too. So there is some historical precedent for the possibility of resistance. It's one of those pivot points that we at least want to look at and see how it's going to react. To silver right now, look at the weekly. As I said, that's up right now only about 7 cents on the day. So when you look at this small candle this represents this week, you can see that it's very, very thin, and that's basically why it is thin. We'll go ahead on the dailies and we'll convert those into the Heikin Ashi because the weeklies have really just started. So let's take a look at our daily silver chart. This, of course, again, cash market. Now, I was looking for resistance, and I was looking for resistance to hit around 31.82 to 31.90. We're at 32.25. You can see that it just popped right over that point. No possible scenarios in which it found resistance, not at least on that day. And then we have the open and close, or the body of the candle, although it's a doji, above that. Now, that is significant whenever we get those dojis because, again, those dojis can represent in the metals markets really two distinctly different possibilities. The first possibility is in here. The market's trading, it consolidates, and then continues on the downward track. So the market goes down, short covering a little bit, goes sideways, and then continues in the direction which is it makes a lower low. That's one possibility. However, in the metals markets itself, and this is something we've talked about, is you get these series of dojis just as the market is consolidating. So it might be on an upward channel and an upward tack, so to speak, and it simply consolidates, trades sideways for a little while, and then moves back up. If this market can continue to trade above this real resistance area, it's these set of tops that you have right in here, which is the 61% resistance level, that I believe will be the next real hard resistance level. That's $3 from here. So that to me is very, very significant. And it also bodes to the fact that we're sitting long, really, when you look at it here at 28.10. For the aggressive traders, they added some of their positions back. Well, it was before this major move, so a couple more positions right at around 30. It's a good trade. We want to make sure that we maintain these positions and protect these positions. To me, that's the most important thing. Lastly, I just want to go ahead and convert both our gold and silver into our Heikin Ashi. Realize they are average charts that are always going to be a lagging indicator, but what it does is it gives you an idea of the strength of the trend. And here's where you're going to see a real big difference. Remember, the candle that we converted for today's daily candle was a doji, but when you convert it to the Heikin Ashi, look at that. It really shows an increase in trend strength, and that's because it's made that drastically higher high, even though the body size is not that big. In a candlestick chart, when you take it and move it into that Heikin Ashi, you can see it's just off and away. So it's showing that in terms of the strength of this current rally in silver, that strength is absolutely still there. Let's go ahead and do the same thing for our final chart. And as I said, we're simply looking at a daily chart. This is cash gold. And again, we'll convert this to a Heikin Ashi. And what we're looking to do, just as in silver, is to see what it tells us about the trend. Now, you're certainly not getting the same sort of size but what you are getting in this move today on the Heikin Ashi, it has the absence of lower wick, and the body size relative to these last few days is actually larger. That means that the strength, at least in terms of the Heikin Ashi interpretation, is not weakening, and if anything is moderately the same to a little bit stronger on the day. Gary Wagner wishing you as always good trading. We'll talk to you tomorrow on Tuesday for another daily update and review. Bye-bye.